internet, they come across really loud. So don't let it distract you. Just maybe say, wow, that's the sound of somebody's dream. They're living their dream, and we have been for 5 years. We give you a quick agenda here. I'm going to have a very brief review of the 3 videos for a particular reason. Then I'm going to define the recruiting cycle and walk you through it step by step, start to finish and beyond, because the money is beyond the recruiting cycle. Then I'm going to keep my 2 promises, which were word for word skills. 1, you'll get the prospect to commit to you before you show them the business. Before you show them the business, never show anybody the business until they've given you their word that they're going to give you a yes, a no, and not maybe. And I'll show you how to get them to promise to do that. It'll actually be their idea. And then I'll show you the invisible close and close people with 1 sentence. Then we'll show you the components of go90grow, the bonuses, and of course we open it up for Q&A. So let me apologize to many of you who got shut out of the first webcast. We keep these very small for a reason. We want to be able to get to your questions quickly, which is the most important question. Now, it didn't start with us hiking the Nepali coast on a regular basis. Don't forget, I failed 5 times in the 80s, and I was failing again in the 90s, and a simple discovery changed everything for us. Just give you a snapshot of our credentials here. Some of you may just be getting introduced to us. So we were a top 50 earner with Market America in the 90s, named as Trainer of the Year out of 80,000 candidates in 98. I left there in 99, stopped building in 98 there, but collected full residuals through 2010. Residuals rock, I'm telling you right now. We worked with a company called MBC. We were Diamond, and they didn't have 27 different levels of Diamond. Diamond was the top of the heap. We were at top pin level at RQ. We were in the top 5 Eagles Club with ProStep, and there's 2 other deals there that we built to 6-figure incomes that don't show. Top 50, the last deal I built was in 2004, and we were in the top 50 earners out of over 1 million reps with Zango. Now, what's really important is we did every single one of these with no herding. As a matter of fact, at one time we're collecting checks from 5 different companies. We sold all our businesses off, all our MLM businesses off in 2010, which may bring up the question, well, how do you know what you have is relevant today? Well, we moved into a different arena in the network marketing industry. We recently completed a 24-month project with a then $30 million network marketing company. They got go90grow for every rep. We built out their QSS, which was a success system, and that rolled out in February 2012. The volume instantly jumped 52%. What happened after February? Well, March and April were both record months. Yeah, but what happened since then? Well, it's pretty simple. You're not going to find any other trainer or expert or guru that's been asked to build entire trainings for companies and delivered record-breaking numbers for over a year. This is what happened before and after with us. You see 168% growth, 163% in enrollments, and of course, as we stressed a little bit of retailing with them, their volume jumped 197%. July was their biggest month in 2013. They had a record in August, September, and November. And now, about 5 months ago, another network marketing company has got go90grow. It's the only training they use, and they're really shattering this industry. They're breaking enrollment records every single day. It didn't start out that way, and with us being able to sit down with companies and build all their training for them. It didn't start out, there I am in Orlando in the upper left in front of about 15,000 people, being flown to Thailand to speak to 26 millionaires, being flown to Germany. Didn't start out that way. It didn't start out with us winning awards, and earning fabulous trips, but mostly it didn't start out with why I think everybody joins network marketing at their very core. There I am down in the backyard doing some yoga over the cliffs, and that's choice. I didn't have any choices with my time or what I was going to do with my life. It didn't start out this way either. We were recently paid $15,000 to speak for 30 minutes at an event, and I said, what do you want me to talk to your company about? And they said, whatever you want. What a privilege. So there I am talking about my favorite thing, this giraffe philosophy that I've developed, and there I am with my little giraffe tie. But it didn't start that way. That's how it started for me. Now that arrow is pointing at a mylar palm tree, and I had about 6 or 7 of those around the house. That was as close as I was getting to Hawaii. And you see, the only creature on the planet with a heartbeat that would pay attention to me was one of my 3 English setters. But that's not the important part of the picture. You know, I didn't have anybody to talk to. What's really important is right there in that red circle is the telephone. I wasn't talking to anybody. I had burned all my warm market. I thought I had burned all my warm market anyway. Very easy once you have these skills to go back to people that said no and instantly get them to say yes. But I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was failing, and it really sucked. You know, I knew that network marketing was a good model. I knew I should be good at it, but I just couldn't make it work. It didn't start this way either. I'm featured as the lead on MLM, The Whole Truth, Lou Abbott's great site. John Milton Fogg insisting he'd be the first person ever to get go90grow, and he was. And this is really cool when this happens. When someone that taught you a lot starts learning from you, which is my relationship with Big Al, who says, more importantly, the way he teaches truly duplicates. You think that might help. Folks, it didn't start out this way either. And we really thank you for this, because we're the only one of the top 100 blogs in the world about network marketing that doesn't spend 10 cents on advertising. You drove this, and what they wrote about us was, this blog contains more valuable content than any other network marketing blog on the internet, and that's all that free stuff we give away, the skills. So you not only put us in the top 50, but we finally got recognized for what we really do here, which is just give away what was freely given to us. But I promise you, it didn't start out that way. That's how it started out, just looking up, just dazzled and befuddled by the abysmal failure that I was having in network marketing. So what changed everything? That's probably the big question. How did you go from bankrupt in Boston to beachfront in Kauai? There's 2 key things, okay? One was the discovery of 2 tiny pieces of information. Now, these aren't secrets. One of the pieces of information is about 4,000 to 5,000 years old. The other one has been around since man has been around. Folks, there's no secrets in MLM, and if anybody says they're going to sell you the secrets, hide your credit card. They're lying to you, and they don't know how to succeed in network marketing. So that's one, is the discovery of 2 tiny pieces of information, not secrets. The second one is skills. If we're going to make some money, we need to learn some skills. Now, what we were able to add to this equation was I discovered how to convert those 2 tiny pieces of information into skills for average people like myself. Let's not forget, I was just a guy delivering seafood off the back of a truck, okay? So again, I want to do this really quick review of the videos to set up these 2 major pieces of content for you, and let us talk about what happens in real life. It's really all about one thing, the hero's journey. So please keep in mind Pareto's principle. You remember from video 1, he was the actual creator of the 80-20 rule, and all network marketers have it completely upside down, which has led to the 3 biggest misconceptions. Everybody knows that a strategy based on misconceptions or lies is really doomed. So what have you found out, Mark, in 5 years of failing and 20 plus years of succeeding? Well, what I really found out was one simple thing, and the evidence gets more and more overwhelming all the time. There's only 2 types of networkers in the world. There's the type that are playing the lottery. What does that mean? They're operating on those misconceptions. You just have to find the right people. People don't duplicate, systems do. And they hear that over and over and over again, so they start to believe it. So let's talk about, I don't know, Mary Smith in Mississippi. Mary's been in the business 7 months. She sponsored her sister because her sister felt sorry for her. She put her mother in because she wanted her mother on the product, and she's been in 7 months. What could she possibly be thinking by walking around chanting, I just have to find the right people. I just have to find the right people. What does she think? She's going to find somebody, and what hasn't been working for her for 7 months, all of a sudden she's going to find the right person and her business is going to explode. She's playing a lottery. Success is not capricious. In other words, it's not left to chance. The other type is a professional, just like a professional in any business, okay? What do professionals do? Well, professionals, and I see one of my longtime idols on here, Lisa Lieberman Wang, just a brilliant woman. You know, they do what professionals do. What do? They identify the money-making areas, and then they learn the skills in the money-making areas. Now, we're not running a hotel here. We're not running a restaurant. There's not 8,700 moving parts. You've only got 3 things that you need to learn here to make a ton of money. 1, getting people to agree to look. And if you can do it rejection-free, you're going to do it more often. The more often you do it, the better your chances of success are. Number 2 is getting them to show up with an open mind, anxious to see the information. And 3, and this is, as they say in New England, the gangster money, right? This is where the gangster money is in coaching better. What do you want to coach them on? Points 1 and 2. You want to teach them how to get people to agree to look and how to show up. Everybody knows that if you improve in those 3 areas, it's going to increase enrollments, boost your volume, and get you bigger checks. The catch, you simply cannot teach what you do not know. It's really that simple. No matter how bad you want to help somebody, if you don't know what to teach them, what difference does it make? And remember our 2 characters, Al and Nancy. And yes, I was both. You know, Al's not cashing any checks. Nancy's cashing huge checks. They enrolled with the same company at the same time, same day, in the same city, same upline, same sponsor, same meetings, same plan, same belief, same hygiene, same socioeconomic background. The difference between Al and Nancy is skills. I can't say it often enough. If you're going to make some money, you need to learn some skills. This is not about talent. It's not about connections. It's not about advantages. Okay, it's not about how much time you have. It's about one thing, skills. So let's get to those first 2 tiny pieces of information. I shared this with you in video 3. The first one is the hero's journey. And that solved the recruiting mystery. It certainly explains why people enroll in network marketing. And if you don't know this, then you're going to be reduced to what's been traditionally taught, which is trying to use fear of loss, fear about the 45-year plan. And, you know, I'm just going to say this twice in this webcast. This is the first time. It takes some desire to build a successful network marketing organization. It's really that simple. And you can't build sustained desire on fear. So the hero's journey is a 4,000-year-old story. It was discovered by Joseph Campbell, whose lifetime work was studying different cultures. And inside every culture are central myths, not like, oh, that's a myth, don't believe that. They're ideas that the culture is built around. And inside every culture, he noticed, no matter whether they were herding, hunting, or farming cultures, he noticed that the story was the same story. And it's about someone who has a life that they know, and they step into the unknown, okay? It's the same story behind every movie, like any movie you look at, Gone with the Wind, Star Wars, The Matrix, Titanic, When Harry Met Sally, Harry Potter series. It's all that. Every Bible story that's ever been told, Gideon, Moses, Jonah, it's all exactly the same. It's the hero's journey. How does it apply? Well, it's just really this simple. When you contact somebody, you're really a herald, meaning the herald is in all these stories is the one that calls our hero out of the life that they know and encourages them to step in to the unknown. How does this apply to network marketing? It's simple. It's their story. Their story is going to have them on the edge of their seat. And by the way, it's your story. It's why you join network marketing, the hope of a different outcome. And to get a different outcome, you have to do some things you haven't done before. You have to step into the unknown. It's the quote-unquote secret, and I just told you there are no secrets, so it's kind of a joke when you think about it, that a story that's been told in every culture since the beginning of time is the secret to recruiting, okay? It's just really human nature to cross over, if you want something different in your life, into the unknown, okay? So let me reduce this word hero because I think it bothers some people, and so I don't think of myself as a hero. You know, you'll make a lot more money if you use a dictionary. It's just really that simple. So a person who's admired, a hero is, according to Webster, a person who's admired or idealized for courage, outstanding achievement, or noble qualities, okay? So this little representation may help you understand that. The lines there represent rain, which is a metaphor for not enough time, not enough money, and you look down your lifeline and you know that if you keep, you know, doing the same thing, nothing's really going to change. And then somebody called you and they said, hey, I know where the sun is shining, meaning more time and more money. You know, money to do things you want and the time to enjoy it. And so you took a different path. Okay, you stepped into the unknown, and of course you have some fears. We all do, some excitement and fears when we join, and you have some obstacles, maybe babysitting, maybe an unsupportive spouse. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. Maybe you work at 3 to 11 and it's really hard to contact people during the day. Whatever. We all have obstacles to overcome here. This is known as the hero's journey, and when you overcome your fears and obstacles, and I'm going to help you do a lot of that today, it's really why you're probably on this call. You know, you got a good company that you're representing and you just can't make it work the way you'd like to make it work. This makes you a hero when you overcome that. Why? Because you exhibited courage and overcame fears and obstacles. And of course, you're going to make more money, and that's going to affect what? The people in your tribe or the people around you. Story's 4,000 years old. It's really that simple, okay? So let's pick up a little bit of speed here. That kind of finishes our review, except for this. A suspect is a name and a number. Okay, you can't sponsor a suspect. A possibility is a suspect that you've contacted and they say, oh yeah, sure, I'll take a look at it. A prospect, now she or he is an entirely different animal, and that's what we're after. This is someone who has volunteered their reason to look. Second time I'm going to tell you this. You cannot build the desire needed to overcome obstacles and fear with fear, which is exactly what Al does. And all this crap and network marketing about fear of loss is going to be the biggest thing. You don't want to miss out on this thing. The 45-year plan sucks. You can't invalidate a person's life for 45 minutes up in front of a meeting, okay, then tell them about these wonder products, and if they don't get on them, they're going to miss out. That is fear-based, okay, and it just doesn't work. Burn this one on your brain and teach it to your team. If you get nothing else out of this call, this will save about 50% of your group from quitting right away. It's the biggest reason people quit is unmet expectations. When people have a possibility, someone who's agreed to look, but they haven't volunteered their reason for looking, what does Al do? He tells them why they should look. What does Nancy, the check cashier, do? She gets the possibility to tell her why they should look. You can't sponsor a suspect, you haven't even talked to him, or a possibility. This is where all unmet expectations happen. When people get unmet expectations, they get disappointed. Collective disappointments lead to discouragement. Discouragement is the handmaiden to quitting. So let's define the recruiting cycle and then walk you through a sequence and give you those two skills word for word. At step one, you're going to do three tiny little things. You're going to strike interest, sort, and book a follow-up. You want to separate the pretenders from the contenders. What does that mean? Well, once you have these skills, you're worth 6 figures plus to anybody that will work with you. It's really that simple. So you want to separate the ones that are pretending to be interested, the possibilities, from the real prospects. At step two, we bring them to a hotel meeting, a living room meeting, a webcast, whatever it happens to be, so they view the information. Who views it? A prospect, not a possibility. And at step three, we do our job. We sent a survey out to over 10,000 people. Less than 1% actually know what a distributor's job is. Your job is to collect decisions. Some people say it's about relationships. There's my quotey fingers, baby. Okay. Some people say it's about relationships or showing the plan of the product. Those don't have anything to do with your job. You do some of those things so that you can do one thing, collect a decision and get their names. The more often you collect decisions, the more money you make. It's really that simple. Would you rather build 20 relationships or collect 20 decisions? Would you rather educate 20 people about the ingredients in your product or collect 20 decisions? So it's all about collecting decisions. This is huge. John Wooden's rule, live by it. The more concerned we are about the things we cannot control, the less we'll do about the things we can control. Now, we're going to give you some skills to tip the scale heavily in your favorite step two and heavily in your favorite step three, but ultimately that's the prospect's decision. The only place you have control is at step one. We close at the beginning, not at the end. We close at the beginning, not at the end. Once we started to put these in place, our closing ratio at hotel meetings, in-home meetings, and one-on-ones exceeded 94%. That's what we closed. And if you do it right, you'll eliminate all objections, 100% of them. They'll never come up. Here's why. If you do it right, the prospect will literally tell you word for word what to say to them at step 3 to collect a positive decision. So everything happens at step 1. You're going to strike interest with the frame firelighter skill. You want to be a firelighter, not a firefighter. Nancy is a firelighter because she lights the fire of hope within them about their life and what's important to them. Al, he's a firefighter. Fear, fear. You make $50,000 a month, and this is going to be the biggest thing. It's going to be $1 billion company. Think about $1 billion right now. Think about $1 billion. Can you even picture what it looks like in your mind? I can't. How many rooms does it take up? Nobody knows. What do you want to do to be a firelighter? You want to arouse curiosity in them about their life. That's the key here, is the limbic system. This is the second of those 2 tiny pieces of information, hero's journey and limbic system. This is the core of the 3 skill sets. The obvious question is, what the hell is the limbic system? The limbic system is the part of the brain that evaluates the reward potential of a judgment call. When Lisa calls somebody up and asks them for 2 minutes of their time, they're going to make a judgment. When she asks them to review information, they're going to make a judgment. When she asks them to enroll, they're going to make a judgment. And once they're enrolled and she asks them to engage in activities A, B, and C, they're going to make a judgment. If you don't know how to talk to the limbic system, then you're just out there playing the lottery. Once you know how to talk to the limbic system, it's game over. It's so simple to build this business because the limbic system is about their core values, not your advertisement. It's serious, and it's not going to be lured by the promise of shiny things. In other words, it's either the sales filter, which it is for Al, or it's the key to success. If you have the go90grow skills, then you've got the key to success. Now, why do I say that with such conviction? Because the hero journey skill set that we're going to give you communicates positively, not negatively, positively with the prospect's limbic system, and the prospect will drive up the reward potential. What does Al do? Al tries to drive up the reward potential by talking about the plan, the product, or the company. In other words, they believe that the reward potential is greater than any perceived risk. Let's face it, everybody wants to be a hero in their tribe. You might, again, I might not think of yourself as, oh, I'm a hero, I'm a superhero, but we want to feel that we're making a significant difference in our life and the lives of people that we want. So when Nancy makes the call to action to enroll, it becomes what? A call to the hero within them, not a call to join a network marketing company because they're afraid they're going to miss out on something. So let's get busy and get into these skills. At step 1, again, we strike interest. We're going to use the frame firelighter skill, and we'll say Tommy is a distributor in my organization, and Tommy and I call a possibility of his Sally. So the frame firelighter is going to get Sally to say yes 100% of the time. She'll say, yeah, look, that happens in less than 30 seconds. You now have a possibility, not a prospect. Remember, I only have 2 laws. Law number 2 is you can't sponsor a possibility. Question would be, what's law number 1? People hate sales pitches they didn't ask to hear. Now you know why people go like this with Al. He can't stop talking about the plan, product, or company. People love stories. How do I know that? In the United States, people spend upwards of $50 billion a year going to the movies, reading books, and going to sporting events. Why? They're living vicariously through the heroes in those books. We love stories. But here's the kicker. We have an uncontrollable compulsion to ask to hear a story that'll make life better. And we talked about that in video 2. Remember when you found out when you were 15 or so you could get a driver's license, all of a sudden you were interested in when the class was, how do I get the book, how many do I have to get right, how do I study for it, where's the test, when can I take the test? You got really interested. You can do the same thing with your network marketing business if you come from this space. So here's where a lot of us make a mistake. This is where you've got to be a herald, not a pitch man, and call to the hero within. A lot of times you'll call somebody up and they'll say, yeah, they'll take a look. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but as soon as you start talking to them about the business, you know, how they're going to view the business, you can literally feel the energy shift in the conversation. So you don't do that. You don't go for the follow-up at that point. You're going to sort. What does that mean? It means, are they a prospect? How do you do this? Well, instead of making a presentation, we're going to get Sally to make the presentation using the hero journey skill number 1, which we call lovingly the possibility presents. What's really cool about this is you don't have to teach people in your group how to make a presentation. The prospect will make it because they're the only ones on the whole planet that can make a perfect presentation to the prospect. It's the prospect. So the possibility presents to you when they talk 80% of the time. What does Al do when he senses interest? He talks and talks and talks. 80 to 95% of the time, he drops all kinds of names of people they don't know. He talks about the plant, product, company. What's he doing? And what's Nancy doing in the first scenario? She's letting the prospect raise the reward potential. What's the limbic system going to do? It's going to make a judgment based on potential, or a judgment based on potential. So Al raises the risk in the possibilities mind, and the sales filter kicks up. Why? Because he makes the unknown unfamiliar and scary. Nancy makes the unknown familiar and comfortable. It's really that simple. So the possibility presents, we're going to use the possibility presents skill to sort the separating of the pretenders from the contenders. It's one simple question. You have to know how to frame it. It's one simple question, and it's a massive shift. And this is literally how my life was after 1995, okay? Mark, here's why I want you to show me your business. I mean, that is literally how it works. The possibility is presenting. Question, think about it. Would it be a different experience for you if they were telling you why they wanted to look at the business rather than you telling them why they should look at the business? It changes the game, okay? With this skill, the flame of hope turns into a raging inferno. Hope of what? Hope that they have for a different outcome. They're going to tell you their reason for looking. That's going to ignite hope within us, and they tell you every single time with this skill, I want to do something about what I want right now. How do we get them to do that? Well, we're going to ask them a couple of questions and have a dialogue with them, okay? And when we do, we're going to paraphrase back to them what they told us and say, is that what you mean, Sally? And Sally's going to say, yeah, that's what I mean. How do I know she's going to say that 100% of the time? Because all I'm doing is paraphrasing, and that's what I tell her. Say, Sally, would it be okay if I paraphrase back to you what you just told me so that I can make sure that I've understood you correctly? Paraphrase back to her and say, would you like to do something about it? And she's going to say yes. Why? Because she just presented it to herself. This is so easy. It's so easy. So let's say we're talking to Sally and she wants to pay for her kids' education, and I say, what are their names? Jack and Jill. Well, let me ask you this. I think that's a great goal. We'd love to help you attain that. But can you tell me why that's important to you? Well, yeah, my husband and myself, we both got out of school with over $100,000 each in student loans, and it sort of inhibited a lot of the early choices that we wanted to make in our life. Well, let me ask you this. Can you imagine Jack and then Jill walking across stage with that diploma in their hand with no debt? How would that make you feel? And when she tells you that, you want to write that down, okay? Remember that. And she says, oh, and watching them walk across stage and get out of college debt free, that would feel wonderful. Okay, now there's a big and an easy payoff here, okay? You're never going to have to overcome an objection. Now, how many are going to engage in this conversation? The possibilities that say yes, the will look, how many will engage? About 80%. And this is key. I want you to remember this. You want to assign homework and say, Sally, I want you to do a little homework before the meeting, okay? So when we meet, we can talk about what's important to you. Do you get it, folks? What's important to the prospect? Okay, so you want to assign homework. Just jot down a little bit more about what you'd like a little bit more of in your life and a little bit less of in your life. So when we get together, we can talk about what's important to you and see if this is a fit. Okay, then you're going to book the follow-up. Now, we're going to give you a skill there. You'll never have another no-show again. I showed this to Tom Holden, who's been earning upwards of $18,000 to $25,000 a month for 11 years. And Tom was being driven crazy by no-shows, and I showed him this, and he went from failure to success literally overnight. He gets 100% of the people to show up, just like all Go90grow members. Prospects are going to tell you how they feel about no-shows. They're going to tell you how they feel about the people that don't show up. They might say something like, oh man, that's really, I can't stand it when people don't show up. Well, off the record, Sally, how do you feel about people like that? How would you describe them? Well, I think they're disrespectful. And again, Sally, just to make sure we're meeting for the right reasons, why did you decide to take this meeting? Well, to see if I can earn some money for Jack and Jill's education. Nobody's going to tell you those three things and not show up, okay? Both of these skills, the possibility presents and the confirming of the hero's integrity so that they show up ready to buy and ready to join. You'll never have no-shows again. Takes about 6 to 10 minutes. The best part, the prospect does 80% of the talking, so there's very little to learn. Okay, let's eliminate stalling, and then I'll give you the invisible close, and I'll keep my promise to you, okay? Key here, never do anything unless you know why you're doing it. You've got to be a great attorney, not a bad attorney. What's the difference between a great attorney and a bad attorney in a courtroom? A bad attorney asks questions that they don't know the answer to. A great attorney asks questions that they already know the answer to. So don't ask questions that you don't know the answer to. So this is how it would go. Hey, thanks for showing up like you said you would, Sally. I really want to acknowledge your integrity. Would it be okay with you if I let you know how I like to work, so I can do my best and eliminate pressure? I don't really like pressure. Would that be okay with you? Of course she's going to say yes. Look, telling you that this is a successful business model, which Bill Gates uses, Trump, Warren Buffett says it's the best investment he's ever made, AT&T, Coke, Toyota, Sprint, Verizon, and dozens of Fortune 50 companies use this business model, and telling you that this is a good business model is like telling you that Rolls-Royce is a nice car. You already know that. Most people, when they come to a meeting, appreciate knowing what's going to happen next. So I'd like to suggest we skip the traditional sort of sales type of presentation. Personally, I don't like sales pitches. I don't like pressure, and I really don't like pushy people calling me back if I'm not interested. So I just don't do it. I set a few ground rules first. I promise you this is one rep that won't haunt you, call you back, or pressure you if this isn't for you. So instead of giving you some long-winded sales pitch, what I'd really like to do is find out more about why you're considering earning some additional income to make a decision as to whether or not we can meet your needs, and then show exactly what we do and how we get paid, and then get a simple yes or no. If you'll agree to give me a simple, yeah, this is for me, let's get started, or no thanks, I'll keep my promise. Okay, so you're going to give me a simple, yeah, let's get started, or no thanks, and I'm never going to call you back or haunt you if no thanks is your answer. You're comfortable saying no. Yes? When you frame that question that way, they answer yes 100% of the time, not 98, not 93, not 85, not 60, 100% of the time. And guys will actually say, oh yeah, if this isn't for me, I'll tell you, don't worry about that. What's he just done? He can no longer know, he can't say, well, I have to talk to my wife. You've taken all that off the table, okay? On the other hand, if it's as clear to you as it is to me that this will pay for Jack and Jill's education, let's go ahead and get started. Is that okay with you? What am I doing? I'm putting them back in the hero's journey. In other words, I don't want to play the phone tag, texting, emailing, relay game. I don't know whether to call you again. You don't want to tell me it's not for you. That just gets weird and yucky for me, that you're being held hostage by your cell phone. Or do you like to play that game, Sally? What do you think she's going to say? She's going to say, no, I don't like to play that game, right? Now, let me just interrupt this little script here for you. This is important. In less than 120 seconds, you've let them know 6 tremendous things. 1, why you're there. 2, you reminded them why they're there, Jack and Jill's education. 3, you've set the agenda up for the meeting. 4, you've let them know what? The meeting is about them. The meeting is about them. 5, you've let them know the first thing that you're going to talk about. And 6, you've let them know how the meeting is going to end, no matter how it ends, and what the behavior is post-meeting is going to be. And you've got an AHAP, which is a big term inside Go90grow. What is that? An authentic, honest agreement and promise about stalling. People are far more comfortable when they know what to expect. Think of a meeting that you were called to at work and you didn't know what it was. It's like emergency meeting. Let's go, everybody down in the boardroom. You're nervous about that. You feel uncomfortable. What's it about? You're talking to your employees. Why do they call us out of work? Okay, now think of a meeting where you were given an agenda ahead of time. You knew what your role was. You see, Al makes it mysterious, making the unknown bigger. Nancy, before the meeting even starts, gives the person great comfort by letting them know exactly, and I mean precisely, what the agenda for the meeting is, so they know what to expect, so they're more comfortable. Okay. All right. So excellent. We have a mutual agreement, a simple yes, let's get started, or no, this isn't for me. We're agreed 100% yes. And they're going to say yes to that. 1 in 100 is going to go sideways. Hug them mentally. Talk about the Red Sox. Talk about the Yankees. Talk about the movies. It's over, okay? All right, so excellent. We've got a mutual agreement, a simple yes, let's get started, or no, this isn't for me, right? We're agreed on that 100%. Yes. They're going to say yes. Okay. I think the best way to find out if this is a fit between what you have or what you want and what we have is to ask each other questions. So let's ask some questions. I'll go first. So I want you to type in the box there. We do participatory trainings here, and when you get inside Go90grow, you'll find that we're going to challenge you, and it's a lot of interaction. So what I want you to do is type in the box, what's the first question I'm going to ask? I want to see how good I'm doing. Okay. Bobby's got it right. She's a Go90grow member. Izanya's got it right. Go90grow member. Patricia, almost. Yeah, Smokey's got, did you review the information? No, you're not giving them any information. What's going on with you? Nope, that's not it. I'll go first. Okay, right. Right. Well, a couple of you got it, including Wayne Smith, who says, did you do the homework? Okay, did you have a chance to do the homework? Remember I said, remember that? Jot it down. Did you have a chance to do the homework? Less than 115 people since 1995 actually did that. One of them was a woman by the name of Davine. She showed up with 100 things that she wanted more of and less of, and so I married her. It's really that simple. Why do we do this? We want to reignite hope. We want to let the prospect, while they're sharing the home, and say, oh, I didn't have a chance to do it. Well, what I have in my notes is, and you tell them that, why don't we expand on that? What is Nancy doing? She's letting the prospect present to her again and building what? Reward potential, because the limbic system evaluates the reward potential of a judgment call. Let the prospect do it. The conversation about their treasure, not the planned project company. The meeting is about them. It's their hero's journey, so start there. This is the key to the vault. It's the key to the vault. I'll give you social proof. Raise your hand if you join for the plan, the product, or the company. If you join for the hope of a different outcome in your life, don't raise your hand. So we have 4 people out of 300, that's what we cap these webcasts at, that said they joined for the planned project company. I want you with your hands up to think about this. Did you join for the planned project company or what it could do in your life? If you joined for what it could do in your life, take your hand down. The hands go flying down. That's why you join, for the hope of a different outcome. All right, so this is why the invisible close works. There's only 3 things in a prospect's mind when they come to a meeting. Can I make any money? In Sally's case, can I make some money towards Jack and Jill's education? 2, what would I have to do? 3, can I do it? If you can get those 3 questions answered for the person, they're going to enroll in the business. Think limbic system. Reward potential of a judgment call. So just type in the box which of those 3 questions is the most important question that you get answered for the prospect during the meeting. In other words, during that meeting with Sally, what do you need to convey to Sally? What's the one question that has to be answered? Just type 1, 2, or 3 in there. And all of you have 3, except for Frank Horan. Good job, Frank. Frank's got 2. Kathy's got 2. Dwayne Walker's got 2. Ruth has 2. Zanya has 2. Look here's the thing. Listen to me now. Adults don't like to fail or be criticized. They don't like to fail or be criticized. So they can't decide whether or not they can do it unless they know what they would have to do. This is why the invisible close works. What would I have to do? If they know what they would have to do, then they can quickly decide whether or not they can do it. If they don't know what they'd have to do, folks, all of you that put number 3 down there, which is what most people do, and I sure did. You know, when I first started figuring this out, I said, "Oh, I gotta get them to, I gotta get them to understand they can do it." Who was I? Al. As soon as I moved to 2, conveyed to them what they'd have to do. Guess what? I turned into Nancy's, and it was cha-ching time. Because it's the reward potential of a judgment call, and they can't decide if they can do it, so they'll stall or they'll say no unless they know what would I have to do. So as we go through this, I want you to listen and notice, okay? I'm going to give it to you word for word, the invisible close. Where is what would I have to do defined to Sally? When does Sally decide she can do it? And when does Sally confirm that she can do it? So, in your little outline there, you want to circle those 3 things and listen for them, because you're gonna. It's invisible, so you can't see it. Okay, it's like, boom. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, whoops. Okay, you know, social proof is you didn't join your network marketing. You didn't say, okay, I'll sign up, but I don't think I could do it. You joined thinking that you could do it. It would have been a lot easier if you knew what you'd have to do. Okay, so we're on the phone. We'll say maybe we've done a screen share, which is really great, or you met her in a coffee shop. But I'm going to say, as we're going back and forth, I'm going to say, Sally, let me ask you a question. What's Tommy done on this call? Well, nothing. I don't even know what it is. I guess he's just listening. A big question for you, Sally, in regards to Jack and Jill's education. Is that something you feel that you'd be able to do? Yeah, Mark, I think I could handle that. Well, would it be okay if Tommy and I did for you what I'm doing for Tommy tonight? Would that be okay with you? Folks, 100% of the time, okay? Now, Tommy, myself, and Rob, who you'll also work with, have 4 years combined experience successfully with this simple system. And there's really only 2 possible outcomes. 1, you join our team and you turn Rob, Tommy, and myself into failures. Or 2, you join our team and we turn you into a hopeless success. Real simple question, Sally. Which of those 2 things do you believe is going to happen? And close your Twinkie hole. She will always say the second one, or I guess I'd be a hopeless success. What has she just done? She's just told you that by joining you, she's going to be successful. So now enrollment's simple. It's 1 sentence, and she already gave us the sentence. You simply make a positive statement, ask a positive question, and enroll her. Knowing how to enroll Sally with 1 sentence is going to feel great. Yes? Type yes in the box if you want to know what that 1 sentence is. What, honey? Yeah, you guys type fast. There's a yes with 15 exclamation marks. Okay. All right. So you guys get it. All right. So now one of the things that we do at Go90grow is we teach you experientially. You see, there's 3 ways to learn. You can hear it, in which case you'll remember 20%. You can hear it and see it, in which case it's 40% retention. Or you can see it, hear it, and do it, in which case it's 80% retention. Okay, so that's called tactile learning, and that's what I just brought you through is one of the ways that we teach you here. Do you see how good it works? Your limbic system is already agreeing with me. It already believes that there's 1 sentence that's going to enroll Sally. Do you get it? Wouldn't it be great if you could do the same thing with your prospects? Well, I got a nice surprise for you. Not only can you do it, we just showed you how to do it. That's the deal. So what's Tom, so Sally, let's back up a little bit. So Sally, there's only two possible outcomes. You join the team and turn me, Rob, and Tommy into failures. You join the team and we turn you into a hopeless success. Which of those two things do you believe is going to happen? Well, I guess I'd be a hopeless success. Jack and Jill getting out of college debt-free is going to feel wonderful. Yes? Folks, there's no way she can't say yes to that question. Great, let's get you started. Do you see who gave me the close? Who gave me the close? We close at the beginning, not at the end. We close at the beginning, not at the end. The hero journey skill set rocks. And the reason that it rocks is it's honest. It's about them. Nothing ever comes up about the plan, partner, company. I have not showed a marketing plan since 1997. Stop showing the marketing plan with the circles and all that stuff. None of that's necessary. They don't understand it anyway. This is what they understand. How do I know she's going to say yes? Because she told me that on the first call. She told me that before I showed her the business. She told me how it's going to feel. Remember I said that word wonderful. Whatever word they use, and how would that make you feel? Wonderful, free, fantastic, incredible. You write it down. She's saying yes to her own words. It's fun. Not only is it easy, but there's no pressure on you or your prospect. Here's a BFO for you, and go90grow, we call that a brilliant flash of the obvious. Every yes that Sally gave me, the average go90 grower hears the word yes 15 to 25 times before they ask them to enroll. And how do they ask them to enroll? If they ask them if they want what they said they wanted by saying yada, yada, yada would feel tremendous. Yes, or yada, yada, yada. Getting your husband out of that dead-end job would feel incredible. Yes. Getting your wife home with the kids would feel magnificent. Yes. They're saying yes to themselves, but this is what's really important. After the first four yeses, yes to the three-way, yes to 2 minutes of their time, yes to looking at information, and yes to extending the conversation so it could execute the possibility it presents. Every yes after that is Sally saying yes to her life, to her treasure, what she wants. Go90 growers know how to get the hell out of the way and let the hero close themselves. You got no upline to work with. You got no team, no problem. My sponsor had quit. My up team was too busy. That's what they told me. They didn't want to talk to a loser like me because I didn't have any names. I tried everybody. I don't have anybody to talk to. And I had no support. Folks, that wasn't the problem. You know what the problem was? Skills. You get the skills, you build a team, it's a piece of cake, and if you don't have a team, it's fantastic, just like I did, because then you get no bad habits to break. And we'll show you how to get 5,000 people instantly to talk to. So let's do a little mini review. The threshold is when they cross from the known to the unknown. That's when you enroll them. That's our multi-million-dollar discovery. It's no secret, and it's easy. The call to action is on what they want. How do we find this out? They present to us. Nancy makes it easy for prospects to cross the threshold and enroll into the unknown by letting prospects increase the reward potential by asking the right questions in the right way, and she listens 80% of the time. Al talks about what he thinks is important, increasing the size of the unknown, increasing the risk, and when the limbic system evaluates the reward potential to make a judgment call, it's going to go no. Robert Weir, thanks so much for the training. I put it into practice and it's working already. I made hundreds of calls over the past 4 weeks with no results. After applying your technique, I had 7 out of 10 people agree to look at my business. More instant results, easy to learn, easy to teach. Jim Montgomery, invisible close, what a concept, using the skills. We added 4 new distributors this week. I love this from Don Reed. This is from about 3 years ago, and we hear this over and over. I've been eating it up. This morning I enrolled a branch manager in my credit union. He's the first person I recruited in a positive environment. In other words, he didn't use fear. He didn't use beating him up with the 45-year plan. I had not been successful, but now I'm getting the skills necessary. Okay? And Lee Allen, who's a lifestyle trainer, pretty big hitter out there. Hey, Mark, we did it. I just found out skill on Thursday night and closed the deal Friday morning. My lead was begging me for information. Why? Because Lee had them present to him. So let's continue with Sally. You enrolled her. The work begins. Most people in network marketing, they don't have a clue. Even people making $10,000 a month, they don't know they're leaving $30,000 a month on the table. They don't have a clue as to the real objective of network marketing. It's not sponsoring, it's not volume, and it's not moving product. It's one thing, Teams who build teams without you. Teams building teams without you. Teams that build effective teams without you. It's not about sponsoring more, it's about getting more people sponsoring. There's only 2 requirements to hit the real objective of the business. I mean, don't you really want a group of 20 that goes to 30 and a group of 50 that goes to 80 and a group of 60 that goes to 90 and you're not involved in any of it? That's really what you want, right? That's the objective. There's 2 requirements to get more people sponsoring. 1, you got to have the skills, and 2, you need to know how to teach the skills, okay? Why? Because it's the objective. Teams that build teams without you. You're the helper and the mentor in the beginning, and that's right out of the hero's journey. And you saw it in every movie you've ever seen. Our hero runs into some challenges, and there's always a helper, a mentor, someone that gives him a clue, someone that gives him the magic sword, whatever it happens to be. Pretty simple. So where is the big money in network marketing, really? Is it in sponsoring or teaching? Well, when you're struggling with sponsoring, you think that's where it is, but it isn't. People ask me all the time, hey, Mark, what's your secret? Folks, there are no secrets. My answer is always the same. There's no secrets. I just teach, and teach. And they go, huh? I teach Tommy what to do by doing it with him. I teach Tommy how to teach Sally what to do, and then I teach Tommy how to teach Sally how to teach. Once Sally can teach what I teach, then I have teams that are building teams without me. But there's a catch. The catch, you can't teach what you don't know. It's really that simple. Network marketing is about generosity, not greed and fear. Al, he's trying to get people in the business, in his business, so he can collect the commission. Nancy, she gets the hero journey thing. She understands what it's about. She's trying to discover what our reluctant hero really treasures and then collaborate with them to help them get it. Success is service, but you can't give away what you don't have. So even if you want to be in service, if you don't have the skills, then you can't give them away. Al, he gives hype and fear of loss. Nancy, she gives skill and support. Who would you rather be sponsored by? You want to be successful in network marketing? Become the sponsor that you would have wanted. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Okay, so I got good news and bad news. And if you're like most people, you want the bad news first. Network marketing never gets any easier. It is what it is. But the good news is we can get better at it. We can get better at it. How do we get better? Well, you got to become a part-time brain surgeon. What the hell do you mean by that? We want to learn how to operate on people's thinking. What are the 3 money-making areas in network marketing? Getting people to agree to look, getting them to show up with an open mind, and 3, coaching the ones that do enroll how to 1 and 2 better. It's really that simple. What's included in Go90grow? Those 3 skills. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, really simple.